Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome back again to my channel, and today I'm gonna tell you guys a story, sirah, about Nabi Muhammad SAW hijrah to Medina. But before I start my storytelling, I would like to introduce myself once again. My name is Rafa Kiraimar and I'm from Adian Boarding School Ahmad. Okay, so first we gonna enter in segment 1. Factors behind the hijrah, or factors like why Rasulullah SAW go to Medina. First, persecution and oppression by the Quraysh disbelievers. As soon as the Prophet began preaching openly, threats and attacks were directed at him and his followers. This led him to consider seeking refuge outside of Mecca. Consequently, the early Muslims migrated to Abyssinia, Taif, and later to Medina. One of the main reasons for the migration was the severe persecution and oppression inflicted by the Quraysh. This is evident in the words of Bilal when he was about to migrate. O Allah, curse Shaybah bin Rabi'ah, Utbah bin Rabi'ah, and Umayyah bin Khalaf, just as they forced us to leave our homeland for a land of suffering. Similarly, Aisha narrated regarding her parents' migration. Abu Bakr sought permission from the Prophet to migrate when the persecution became unbearable. Second, the presence of support and protection for the Prophet's mission. Another reason for the migration was the emergence of support and protection that would allow the Prophet to preach freely. This was demonstrated in the second page of Aqabah, where the Ansar, people of Medina, pledged to protect the Prophet as they would their own families. Third, rejection by the Quraysh chiefs and the Meccan society. The leaders of the Quraysh and significant portion of Meccan society viewed the Prophet as a liar and refused to believe in him. This rejection led him to seek an audience with those who would accept his message. Sa'ad bin Mu'adh expressed this sentiment. O Allah, you know that there is no one I would rather strive against for your sake than those who denied your messenger and exploit him. Fourth, fear of religious persecution. The Muslims feared that their faith would be corrupt or lost due to the extreme persecution. Aisha was once asked migration and said, in the past, believers would flee to Allah and His messengers out of fear that their faith would be corrupt. These are some of the factors that led the early Muslims to migrate from Mecca to Medina. This migration was undertaken to seek the pleasure of Allah Almighty. Hubab said, we migrated with the Prophet, seeking the pleasure of Allah, and thus our reward is with Allah. And why was Medina chosen for migration or hijrah? Authentic narration showed that the choice of Medina as the destination for migration was based on divine revelation. This is evident in the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. I saw in a dream that I was migrating from Makkah to a land with palm trees. I thought it was Yamam or Hajar, but it turned out to be Yathrib or Medina. Another hadith states, I was shown your place of migration. It is a land with palm trees within 2 rocky terrains. Upon hearing this, the Muslims eagerly began migrating to Medina. Even those who were in Abyssinia made their way there. The first to migrate to Medina. Imam Bukhari states that the first to migrate to Medina were Musab bin Umair and Abdullah bin Ummi Maktum. However, Ibn Ishaq and Ibn Sa'd reported that Abu Salama bin al-Asad was the first to migrate. Musa bin Uqbah preferred the second view, and Ibn Hajar reconciled these reports by explaining that Abu Salama left Makkah not intending to settle permanently in Medina but rather to escape persecution. On the other hand, Musab bin Umair migrated with the intention of residing in Medina, that teaching its people under the Prophet's command. Following them, more Muslims migrated, including Bilal bin Rabah, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, Ammar bin Yasir, and Umar bin Khattab. The Quraysh response to the migration. The mass migration of Muslims to Medina deeply injured the Quraysh. They took several measures to prevent Muslims from leaving. First, they seized Muslim property and prohibited them from taking their belongings. Second, they detained and imprisoned some of the Muslim family members. Third, they attempted to persuade those who had already migrated to return to Makkah. Despite this effort, the Muslims remained steadfast. They were willing to part with their real families and comforts of life in Makkah for the sake of their faith. The migration marked a turning point in the establishment of Islam, leading to the rise of the Muslim community in Medina and the eventual triumph of the Islam stage. And yeah, maybe that's not for me. I'm sorry I have mistake in my words or what. And maybe that's not for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.